Just before I came to America, an uncle of mine was talking to me, and he said to me, "When you get to America, make sure that you don't look any American in the eye, because they will shoot you." And the funny thing is, my uncle had never been to America. Much later, I was to find out that he'd seen some westerns where cowboys would get together in a bar and sort of exchange a few words and stare each other down and begin to shoot. So from this, my uncle formed the impression that Americans will shoot you if you look them in the eye. 13 days after I arrived in America, I lived in Amherst, Massachusetts at the time. Um, there was a bank robbery. I didn't know that. I had a meeting to attend with a professor at UMass. And here I was at the bus station, and the police officer stopped at the stoplight right beside the bus station. Um, and he looked my way, and he and I made eye contact. And somehow I recalled my uncle's advice not to look Americans in the face. And I was shaken by a sense of dread. I said, wow, this man is going to shoot me. I just looked him in the eye. So I made an exaggerated gesture of looking away. That's a way of saying, being, penitential. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to provoke you. And the light turned, and the officer, drove a little bit and turned into a side street, and I thought he was gone. Well, about a minute later, I got a tap on my shoulder, and I whirled around, and here was this tall officer. And he says to me, "Do you mind, sir, coming to the back of the bus stop?" Now, in Nigeria, where I come from, no police officer, nobody in uniform, much less a police officer, will use a phrase, "Do you mind?" They pull or they push you where they want you. So for a moment, there was cultural miscommunication. I thought that the man calling me sir meant that he was being deferential, and the fact that he said, "Do you mind?" meant that I had a choice in the matter, that I could say to him, "I really mind, I'm in a hurry." But I was curious about the man's genial tone, so I decided to meet him immediately. I said, "No, I don't mind." So we both came to the back of the bus stop, and of course, everybody turned around to observe what was going to transpire. And so this officer said to me, "Sir, you know what this is about, right?" I felt that it was about me looking him in the eye. But I wasn't going to confess to it, because I said, if I confessed, then this man might have the constitutional right to shoot me. So I adopted a policy of denial. I said, "No, I don't know what it's about." And he asked the question again. I said, "I really don't know what it is about." Then he said to me, "There's been a bank robbery and you fit the description." So he said to me, "Do you mind if I frisk you?" Frisk was not part of my vocabulary at the time, but I somehow knew that whatever frisk meant, I had no choice in the matter. So I said, "I don't mind." So he asked me to throw my hands up and patted me down. And finally he said, "I'd like to take you in my cruiser, to take you to your home and see your passport." And that was one of the most frightening moments. So much so that I actually considered running away, because I felt this guy is going to take me to some isolated corner and shoot me. But in the end, I felt that the situation called for dignified response. So I said, if I'm going to die, I'm going to face it down. So I got into his cruiser, got to my apartment, and showed him my passport. And somehow, having looked at it, it sufficed to show that I wasn't the person, and he was in constant touch with his office as he was doing all of this. And then he handed my passport back to me and said, "Thanks for being a gentleman." As I look back now, I'm able to sort of recognize that story as one of the great moments of my time in America, because I understood so much. It taught me so much about police work. It also taught me so much about simply the ways in which being black can all of a sudden constitute that black can be the color of crime, as it were. Is the way that I'll put it. But one learns to go beyond this experience, go beyond that moment, and to draw lessons that then enable you to continue to move on, and to give you a sense of buoyancy, really,